What's up, guys? So I wanted to give you guys a bit of an update as to how my course is going. So this is the Functional Nutrition Alliance, and basically so far it's been going quite well. And as a reminder, if you go to fxnutrition.com, they have their programs listed here. So this is the full body systems that I'm currently enrolled in, and there's a course catalog which I went over in a previous video, and I'll link the video in the description so you guys can check that out. But basically, what I like about this is that you learn a personalized approach to nutrition. So basically, you go from not knowing anything about nutrition, or maybe just not feeling very comfortable with nutrition, to learning how to have a system, like a system-based approach, meaning you know exactly what to do with each client, even if you don't know what their medical condition is, what they coming in with, what their past medical history is. All of that is sort of collected in this really cool process, which I really enjoy. There's a big intake process, which I think I'm learning more and more when it comes to this course. You really have to invest a lot of time up front with the client and learn about all of the intake processes. And then the next thing that I want to talk about is all of the different aspects, which I'm learning about more and more. So I think now I can explain it a little bit better. So they have framework and tools. What they mean by that is there are these food, mood, poop journals. So basically these documents that the client can fill out where they talk about their mood, their diet, how they felt, their symptoms, what their poop looked like, which is part of functional nutrition. I mean, that's essentially what it is. And that's the kind of the framework and the tools that they provide for you. The mentorship is really strong because you have every week a 1 hour up to 2 hour live call on a Zoom session with one of the teachers. So basically all the students, or several hundred students, I believe, in each course, or maybe a little bit less, but it's pretty good. Not a lot of people ask questions, so it's very doable. And I will say, for the physicians, guys, when you come into this, you're going to have a lot of knowledge, a lot of insight into the clinical content and the medical history and the medications and stuff. And a lot of other people, your cohort, are not going to have that. But what I like about this course is that that's really not what it's about. You're not really trying to reinvent Western medicine. It's a very different thing. It's functional nutrition. It's a personalized approach to nutrition. Who should eat what, when, and how, right? And so I really love the mentorship because those constant conversations really bring that to the forefront. Online and interactive. So obviously there is and we'll get into that in just a minute on this, in this next tab, but basically everything's online and you get to interact with the teachers, and there is a really good forum where you can ask questions on a constantly, lots of different questions going around. So this part, kind of the clinical insights, I think is really good because she obviously goes in detail. So if I click on the full body systems here, we actually go and dive deep into the different, there's the immune intensive, right? We started with the digestive intensive, and so that's all about digestion. And then we do the immune intensive. And then there is this practice on purpose which just started for me this week, so I haven't done it. These aren't open yet. Obviously they become available a little bit later, but it's basically reframing the concept of nutrition, understanding the urinary system, cardiovascular perspective. The client step-by-step is really cool because this is a way for you to understand the entire journey for when a patient or a client first comes in, what information they provide for you, how you provide information back to them. They call them the done for yous or something, so there's a lot of that available already. The endocrine intensive, where you go over like a lot of the thyroid stuff and diabetes type stuff. Neuro intensive, which is really cool. A lot of autoimmune stuff is discussed there, but obviously the immune intensive covered that part really well. There is the reproductive intensive, like PCOS, endometriosis, a lot of powerhouses with Andrea Nakayama, which are actually recorded already, so I can access these. And finally, it tells you how to get the functional nutrition certification and where to go from there. So that's sort of that gist of all the clinical insights that's provided. And then the vibrant community, again, for me, what's been powerful is just being able to go to the message board. And so that's one of the places where I think I've learned the most, just constantly logging in to the message board, asking questions and getting information from other people who have more experience, and obviously the coaches and the trainers and the teachers, etc. And it's a 10-month process, which I already went over. So here's some other good information: help the body to function at its best. So again, kind of an individualized approach, boost your client outcome. So there's a lot of information how to maximize the client experience through your system. So there's a lot of like coaching for the business side as well. And then they talk about the system that they use, kind of the approach that they use. Our signature training in functional nutrition. Here are some sample experiences from other people who've taken the course. Yeah, you can sign up for the 15-minute matrix. And obviously this is the one that I think probably where everybody initially finds out about Andrea Nakayama is her 15-minute 15-minute matrix podcast. She talks about a lot of different stuff, and really these podcast episodes are very well done, very, very well done. I really, really enjoy them. So it's something I would listen to even if I wasn't on this in here. And you can see there's a lot of other stuff here, the 3 roots, many branches, so kind of going to the root of a certain disease, the field guide to nutrition. This is really a good, big, a huge document that you can read, and it's also something that she references a lot. The traps where many of the coaches, the nutrition counselors fall into, so that's kind of cool. And again, yeah, so these are the many different things. I think if I give you an example, for me, for example, we're just finishing up the immune intensive, and we're starting on the practice on purpose, which I haven't even started yet. But basically, once you go into each immune intensive, there is the different weeks, the final exam, the done for yous, which is the example I gave you guys. Basically, somebody comes in with constipation, somebody comes in with an autoimmune related rash, and how do you approach it from beginning to the end? There is different bonuses, there's expert interviews. These are brilliant because each one of these is, let's see, this one is like an hour and a half. This one, she's obviously very famous. I'm just reading her book right now. This one's another hour and a half. Dr. Alice Vasquez is an hour and a half. So Dr. Tom O'Brien. So many physicians and many non-physicians, a really good mix of people. I haven't finished all of these yet. I think, I still got a few left to go. But there's a final exam that you take. I think you just take it multiple times until you pass it. It's not really a big deal. There's a lot of resources she lists here. And again, the forum where you really have the discussions, and the forum is really well done. You can see it's quite active and a lot of people are on there. The Power Hour is where you can play all the previous episodes where somebody had a discussion with Andrea Nakayama and they're recorded. So they're pretty cool. Obviously for 2022, there's fewer recordings, but there's a lot to learn from these because they're 2 hours long. People ask a lot of good questions, and she just really summarizes the information over and over. So if you do want to sign up, this is the website to do it at. You go to functionalnutrition.com, and I think I paid somewhere about $5,000. And you can certainly discuss that with them, and they have payment plans and all sorts of other information. Hope this is helpful. Would love to see what you guys think about it. Take care.